It has been dubbed the last great Coliseum, and tonight, one of these three-wide racing truck drivers will call this place as a victory as we take on the UNOH 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway. Welcome in, everyone, to ERN's coverage of Three-Wide Racing eSports League. Alongside Michael Sheffield, I'm Steve Kerpel. And last week, we seen AJ DiMarzo in the season opener of a brand new series come away with the victory at Atlanta in a very, very clean race, 80 laps, and only one caution. And Michael, I want to flip things over to you. A totally different ball game here tonight. We go from a mile-and-a-half cookie-cutter track that'll burn your tires up like there's no tomorrow to a half-a-mile short track where these guys are going to be banging and trading paint all night. What are the fans in store for tonight?
Well, if it's anything like last week, which I'm hoping with the excitement of last week, really blew me away last week. It was just door-to-door action from start to finish. It was always something going on throughout the field. And here at Bristol tonight, everybody's going to be packed up. It's going to be a very interesting race. It's going to be very entertaining, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of action from the front to the back, 125 laps around here. It's going to go by pretty fast, but I'm sure these drivers are going to have their hands full.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen, from the drop of the green flag last week at Atlanta, action the whole race. And as we mentioned coming in, AJ DiMarzo able to walk away with the win. And we're going to see what these guys could do on a short track. Definitely going to be banging each other around. There's no doubt about it. We're showing 15 guys on the grid for tonight. They'll kick off qualifying here in about 30 seconds. And while we have a couple of minutes, let's just take a look at what these guys are going to be in store for tonight, Michael, as 78-degree air temperature, which is going to translate to about 82 degrees on the track. We mentioned a half a mile around this Bristol Motor Speedway. 2 miles an hour wind, really not going to play factor. This is nighttime racing conditions. There should be a ton of grip for these guys. Honestly, ideal racing conditions. This is what the fans want to see. The lights are on at Bristol. I'm excited. I can't wait to get this thing kicked off.
Yeah, I am too. And unfortunately, here is a track that you can carry a little bit of fender damage or a little damage to the truck as long as you don't damage any cooling or anything in the front end, and you'll still be able to get around this track. Tonight's going to be about who can maintain that top line. You don't have to be the fastest truck in the pack. It's all going to be about position. If you can maintain that top line and force guys to find a way around at the bottom, then that's going to be the winning factor here tonight.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. As we're going to flip over here to qualifying, and we're going to take a look here. We've got the 21 out on track right now of Carlos Ramos, a driver I believe we did not see last week out on track. Hoping maybe get off and get things cranking up here at Bristol. You'll see a couple of new guys out here tonight that you didn't see last week. A few new names, but as he makes his laps around this track. These guys, you're going to see guys, and we'll pull the tower up here for you guys watching at home. You're going to see lap times in the, I want to say, low 15-second range, give or take, as we see right now. John Kea on top of the board with a 15.201. That's about the lap times you're going to see here. The lower you can get down to the 15s, that's where you're going to be talking about your pole position. But Carlos slotting himself in third right now with a 15.321, so not too bad of a time for him. As we switch on over to Randy coaching right now, he just laid down a 15.341 for his time. That'll slot him in the fourth. Now, Michael,
Yeah,
I just want to talk about something real quick. Now these guys this is a 125 lap race, and these guys are going to have 100% fuel load. I mean, if I've done the math on this thing, they should be able to go this whole race without having to get gas.
Yeah, 100% fuel load will be about 140 to 150 laps. Their tires are going to be screaming for help way before the end. These guys are going to want fresh tires, and with a single pit lane here, pitting under green is gonna take up some time. You're gonna lose some laps pitting under green because you've got to go all the way back around on pit road before you even get to your pit stop. And with 15 trucks, single pit lane, nobody's really gonna be pitting on the backstretch.
Yeah, that is a good point. As our last guy has just qualified, William Roberts lays down a 15.208. Great point. We're going to see what happens. Everybody's qualified. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're going to flip on over. We're going to honor our nation's heroes. We're going to play our national anthem, and we will be back for your starting lineup.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet
Welcome back in, race fans. Buckle up. We're going to go 125 turns around this half mile. Yeah, I mean, these guys are going to be banging them up like there's no tomorrow. But here we go. Let's set the stage. Your starting lineup for tonight's UNOH 200 from Bristol Motor Speedway. On the pole in the 88, Nick Radar. On his outside will be the 99 of John Kea. Row number 2, the 13 of William Roberts. AJ DeMarzo, last week's winner. He'll slot in 4th. Row number 3, number 2, Matt Jagard. And the 46 of Andrew Hefner. Starting in 7th, 21 of Carlos Ramos. And he's going to be followed on his outside by Randy Coaching in a 19. Michael, take us the rest of the way.
Starting 9th will be Michael Edwards in the number 82. Starting 10th will be the number 7 of Robert DuPont. Starting 11th will be the 24 of Ernest King. Starting 12th will be the 64 of David Connell. Starting 13 will be the number 28 of Jorge Rincon. Starting 14th will be the number 10 of Jonathan Aropolo. And rounding up the field in the 15th position will be the 98 of Cornelius Brown.
There's your starting lineup for tonight's race. And I'll tell you what, guys, from the looks of things, we got some cool looking paints. We'll hopefully be able to get to them. Last week we struggled a little bit because the action was just too much. And these guys are going to roll off of pit road. And we are going to get this thing cranking. They'll run 2 pace laps because it's a short track. So we'll get these guys gridded up. And we are going to go do some racing here under the lights at Bristol. And I'll tell you what, Michael, I wouldn't be surprised to see some doors slamming within the first 5 laps here.
Yeah, unless everybody starts, it's going to take a little bit of time till it gets back to single wide. When it gets single wide, you'll start to see a little bit of stretch out, maybe a little bit of gap between a couple trucks, but first 10, 20 laps are probably going to be a lot of door-to-door racing going on here. And, like I said, you can get in the outside wall. A little bit of damage is not going to hurt you in the long run. So, and they've got one faster pair tonight. So, worst case scenario, you got a shot to come back out and give it a go again.
Absolutely, yeah. That's an important note. These guys do have one quick repair. They will have 3 extra sets of tires in the pits. Although I don't think they might use them all, depending on how the cautions lay out if we do get any. But nonetheless, they will have 3 sets plus the set they start on. And we had mentioned they are running 100% fuel load tonight. So those are your race details. iRacing.com pace car is on pit road. Race number 2 at Bristol. Let's go to work. 3 wide racing series. Here we go. We are green.
And the Radar jumps over directly out to the front, gets a good start there. And coming back from the 3rd on the inside, I mean, it's a pretty quick start here. I didn't expect that inside line to get the run like that.
Yeah, that's typically what you'll see running on like the outside line on a start like that, and Radar able to get a good launch.
We got a caution.
We are under caution already. We are going to have to see if we cannot find where that came from.
Must be towards the back here. I'm going to look here, see if I can find anything.
Bear with us, folks. We're going to take a look so we can get you that replay and see what happened there. We're going to take a quick pause here, folks. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and the cause of that caution, a little technical difficulties on our end. We ain't actually able to bring that replay to you, but it is going to be the 98. Was just a self spin on the first lap. That's Cornelius Brown. He ended up start last, so he didn't make really any sort of big contact. We'll have to keep an eye on him the rest of the race and see how he does. He is somebody I believe that was a newcomer coming in this week, Michael. I don't believe we've seen Cornelius last week in Atlanta.
Yeah, we didn't see him last week, and right now these trucks are, are a little loose. Um, especially lap one, anywhere tires being green takes a little bit of time, and especially a track like this with the high banking coming off that corner, a little bit too much gas, a little too quick, and your end will come right around on you.
Yeah, and that's something these guys just have to get used to over the course of the race, especially on the restarts. It's a whole different ball game from running the mile and a half running high speeds in Atlanta to where you get a good launch with these trucks on fresh tires, and the tires just the heat and the pressure just isn't built up, and that's what happens. You just go around sometime. So we're gonna see if we can't get us a little green flag run here. iRacing.com, pace car is on pit road. 88 is on the gas, and he ain't messing around. Green flag, we're back under green. Lap 7, and I'll tell you what, the 88, he's seen that pace car hit pit road, and he's like, I am out of here, boys.
That's the advantage about being a leader. The leader, you get to choose your lane, and anytime the pace car pulls off a lot of leagues, it's you can go whenever you're ready. So
Yeah,
that gives the advantage to the leader.
yeah, absolutely. As you see, the 5 of AJ DeMargio, last week's winner, he got really loose coming out of the corner there. I believe it was coming out of turn 2, so he's feeling the wrath of the cold tires. Was able to keep it straight, and these guys they're gonna fan out. I mean, we're looking single file, pretty much a good portion of the way back.
Yeah, it's still early in the race. You get a little loose now, as long as you can save it. And we just got one spinning right now on the front stretch. Looks like the 82.
The 82. Okay, we are gonna go to that, and let's see what happened here.
I believe that was Mike Everidge.
Yep, Mike Everidge in the 82, just coming out of the corner, looks like. And yeah, it just goes right around on him, locks the brakes down, makes hard impact in that inside retaining wall. And, luckily, like we did mention, these guys, they do get a fast repair, so he'll be able to go and get that truck fixed. They'll be able to, he'll be able to have a brand new truck, but that's the only one he gets for the whole race. So
Yeah, so if you in that situation, I mean, hopefully he hasn't got a lot of damage. If he doesn't have a lot of damage, you can run well here with some damage. So you might, a scenario here to play out is you save that quick repair as long as you can because you don't want to use it now and then something happen later and you get tied up in something and then you need that fast repair and you no longer have it. So, it's still a long race to go. A lot of things can happen. So let's see how it plays out for him the rest of the night.
right, I mean that's a great point. I mean, me and you have personally been in many of these Bristol races where you could run around this track missing a front clip and still be competitive. It's the motor damage that will kill you. And if he goes down pit road and doesn't have motor damage, you know what? I'd probably save that fast repair. We'll have to kind of see what strategy he goes with and see how it plays out. But I mean, we're gonna see. We've already seen two guys just kind of spin it, and I think that's what you're going to see here probably for the first 20 to 25 laps, especially because we're going 5-7 laps and then having a caution, so you're not fully heating them tires up, but you're slowly getting there. You're taking the long way, and these guys are just going to have to work at it. Show a little bit of discipline as they're going, running their race, kind of try to settle in, get those tires heated up, and then, maybe later in the run, get up there and be competitive and start making some passes.
Yeah, the tires aren't quite up to temp yet, and long runs. You talk about three heat cycles. This early in the race, the heat cycle really hasn't come into effect yet because, like you stated, the tires aren't up to temp yet, and pressures aren't up quite up to where they need to be as of yet. So if they can get a good, 10, 15 lap run, I expect the trucks to settle out, and you'll start people being up, uh, drivers being able to give it a little bit more gas coming out of the corner, and the speeds will start to pick up a little bit, and you'll see them spread out, and people learning what line's going to work for them the best of the race. So
Right, absolutely. As the pace car is off, and we are back here under green here at Bristol, and the 88 of Nick Radar, another good launch. Kind of waited a little bit, playing the strategy, so you got to keep everybody on their toes. Pretty decent battle for second. William Roberts is going to be able to hold that second spot over AJ DeMarzo,
yeah,
and
this early in a run, that outside line is going to be highly dominant. If somebody can find something on the inside later in the run, it's going to be a world of difference. But you might see a few slide jobs here tonight too.
yeah. Actually, that's one good point, and I'm glad you bring it up. Is especially like later in the race when you need to get that position and you kind of don't want, be battling in the corners. A slide job is a perfect move here. And if it's executed well, it's one of the best moves in racing, really, besides a crossover, in my opinion. And if you could get that thing down pat, you're looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, the slide job here is especially prominent because you can't get a huge run going into the corner. If you're a lot faster than the guy in front of you and he's taking the preferred line, you're going to reach and try to find out where you're faster. If he doesn't make a mistake, you're going to have to eventually make your move. As you see the five looking to the bottom now, trying to see what he can get on the bottom line.
Yeah, we're gonna move to this battle because this is pretty much the battle that's going on right here. Is this battle for second between the 13 of William Roberts and the 5 of AJ DiMarzio. That's your best battle on the track right now. And these guys, I'll tell you what, these guys they know that tires are going to come into play. But right now they're just going to want to battle for position. It's going to help them heat the tires up, but at some point you gotta know when it's time to take it easy, tuck in line, and try to save those tires because this is a long race.
Well, looking at the 22 laps into the race and the 64, David Connell has already moved up 4 spots. I'm looking at timing now, and so he's already made a good jump considering we've already had 2 cautions already.
Yeah, and I mean he is. Yeah, he's looking for more too. He's grouped back here. He's working on the 7 right now of Robert Dupont. So the 64 has it. He's got it figured out. But I want to point out that the 46, who is also in this same pack, down 4 spots, about to be 5. And you see he's got that right side is all scraped up. So he's definitely been making some contact with the wall. And that's it. Probably won't affect him. Running the race, but definitely been scraping that wall some.
He could be playing a strategy move too here with 2 cautions already. He could be want to be able to lay back a little bit. Another caution comes out. He doesn't want to be in the middle of it. There's so many factors that go into play at Bristol. You always hear drivers say either it was a really good night or it was a really bad night. You never hear any in between. Either Bristol's usually a good experience or a bad experience, as we just saw. The 46 and the 64 looks like they just got into each other.
Yeah, the 64 had to really check up to avoid. I mean, great that he did because I don't. If he wouldn't have checked up, I think he honestly would have spun the 7 out there. But unfortunately, the 46 was right there, couldn't check up in time. He gets his bumper pushed in, the nose gets pushed in a little bit on the 46 of Andrew Hefner, and that shouldn't really affect him. I don't think it was that hard of a hit to where they would, have engine damage or anything, but something to keep an eye on. Hopefully, these guys get their feet back under them and try to settle in, and they're running tight. I mean, we are seeing some good racing back here towards the back of the pack.
And up towards the front, Nick Radar is just setting a blistering pace right now. He's separating himself from the rest of the field. You got the 5. He's got a good pace between him and third as well. So these two are running away from it right now, and just curious to see how the tires are going to react, over the next 30, 40 laps. But these guys will be catching lap traffic here pretty soon, and that might play a huge factor later in the race tonight. Is who's going to be able to get through the lap traffic the best?
Right, as we see the 88 of Radar, your race leader, just put the 10 of Jonathan Aropolo a lap down. So I mean, he got by him with ease, but he's got nobody around him to really give him a hard time. So now it's easy, but when we're talking later in the race, when you're battling for the lead, it's going to be a different story. And you nailed it. I mean, whatever how these guys handle the lap traffic, I think is going to be a big outcome on how this race turns out towards the final stages.
And I'm curious to see, with 34 laps in this is going to go by pretty fast. Wondering with these guys with 3 extra sets, what they're thinking. When are they thinking about coming down? How long do they want to wait? It's going to be curious to find out.
Yeah, I mean, we started the race out with two rather quick cautions, but ever since we've gone back green, it's been some pretty good racing. I mean, now you see the 88, he's got a 2.7 second lead over the 5 running in second of AJ DiMarzio, as now the 88's starting to hit some lap traffic. He's coming up on the 19 of Randy Coaching, and the 28 of Jorge Rincon, and he's gets by them easy, but that is going to slow him down. That's going to give AJ a chance, to get
He
caught
might be able
up.
to make up a little bit of time here because the 88 took the bottom lane there. And if the 5 is running the top lane, he's going to make a little time. But the question is, when he gets to that lap traffic, how quick are they going to let him by as well?
Right, and I'll tell you what, a little bit of a development while we were just talking about that. The 99 of John Kea, able to grab that second spot from AJ DiMarzio, and oh my gosh, and the 99 just rear ends. I don't know who that was, but he just came right. It was a lap car, and the 99 just came and basically flattened his back bumper. I mean, that's obviously going to leave a mark. And I think, he could have possibly hit him. We're going to have to keep an eye on him here, guys. He might have hit him hard enough to get engine damage. I mean, that front end is just crinkled up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the front end now, and, he's going to have to watch those temps. Definitely going to have to watch them, make sure they don't start creeping up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just your typical Bristol racing, really. I mean, you carry so much speed around here that if you come up on a guy that's running 20, 30 miles an hour below what you are, it's really hard to get checked up in time to not rear end them, as we just saw there.
And this will progress, and things will, throughout the season with you got new drivers, newer league. It's going to be hard to know what the other guy's going to do, but as you run more and more around each other, you'll see things change, and things will become more fluid over time.
Right, as we got a couple of guys down on pit road, guys that are running towards the back. They are on pit road right now, so they're probably fixing some damage. I think it's a little too early to see an actual green flag stop that with our leaders. But I mean, Nick Radar is just putting this field to work. I mean, he is picking up lap cars, and he is just separating himself from this field, almost approaching a 4-second lead over the 99 of John Kea. And this is impressive. I mean, Nick, he must know what he's doing here, because he's looking like a seasoned vet, and we're only in the second race of the year.
Yeah, with the second place finish last week, I know he's eager to get that win. He was so close, running so well last week, and it was always a constant battle with him and AJ. And just got a little loose there late in the running, and it's happened to me. It happened to me rather soon, in the last couple days, and it gets in your head a little bit. And now he's wants to prove that I got it, and Bristol might be one of those tracks for him.
And as we say that, the 88, your race leader, is on pit road. He will take a green flag stop here at lap 50. So that's going to hand the race lead for the time being over to the 99 of John Kea. And Matthew Jaggard in the number 2 will take second. So we are seeing a round of green flag stops at lap 50. These guys are going to come in and get 4 Goodyear tires and 2 cans of Snokel fuel. And we'll see what they could do. Now, here's the thing, Michael, with 50 laps in the books. Is this your one and only pit stop? I mean, these guys got plenty of tires. I don't think tires are going to be an issue. Would we see another round? If this thing went green to the end, would you want to pit for tires towards the end of the race as well?
Well, the issue is here you're going to go so many laps down. And the question is, how long do you want to stay out? Yes, it's a short track. It's a half-mile track. Fresh tires are not going to be, that huge of a difference with 3 laps down. So is somebody playing a 1 stop? Somebody playing on a 2 stop? You never know what the strategy is going to play out before the night's over with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do bring up a great point. As we got trouble on the front stretch, 382, and I believe it was the 21. Make contact. We stay green. They were able to gather it up, but oh man, you guys saw it live there. Those guys just kind of just wrong place, wrong time again for those guys, and it's unfortunate. The 82 was running up there, hadn't pit yet, but was able to get back on the lead lap. And right now, we only have 3 guys on the lead lap, the 99, 46, and the 7. So everybody's kind of, come down, made their pit stops. I could tell you that a lot of hammers are being swung down there trying to beat some of the dents out of these trucks because they're mangled. But I mean, this is what you expect at Bristol. This is what you hope for at Bristol. This is why they race here. So these guys could be out on a track banging into each other.
Now, the 88 just came off pit road. He is running about a second faster a lap. But 15-second lap around here, 2 to 3 laps down, it's going to take up quite a bit of time. Now, I'm sure that John Kaya is going to pit, in the next 20 laps, and that'll kind of swing the advantage back to the 88 of Nick Radar. So it's going to be a back and forth kind of race by strategy of who's going to have the lead, who's going to have the advantage.
Right, and that feel like it plays in the hands of the 88 right now because, I mean, he's coming. It's going to take him some time, obviously, but now when we get towards the latter part of this race, if you're the 99 and you go in for fresh tires, say, lap 70 or even lap 80, I don't know if I'd push it that far. As you see, the 88's going to get one of his laps back right here. That obviously sets you up in good position to probably win the race, but you don't know what you're going to get in between now and then. What if you get a caution? I mean, that changes everything.
Yeah, a caution right now would completely change the game because the 88 would be stuck, a couple laps. It's going to change the whole thing, but it's the 99 losing this much time watching the 88 go by so easily. How much longer do you want to stay out?
Yeah, absolutely. And while we have the chance now, before we get too crazy like we did last week, we're going to run down through the field here and get you guys a look at your favorite driver as we are looking at the 99. John Kaya, hauling the mail. United States Postal Service paint. Good looking scheme. I'll tell you what, it's simple and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, the USPS paint, I saw that last week, and it looks like our second place of Andrew Hefner's. Look, we got a caution.
Yes, we do have a caution out on the track, and we are going to see what happened there. I'm not sure if this is it or not. Oh no, the 42. Oh no, that is not good. I will tell you that right now. We're right on taking a look here at the 21. Carlos Ramos, the 42's on track, and everybody's just trying to dodge. The 5, honestly, out of everybody, the 5 of AJ DiMaggio is probably the guy that's got away with the most, but you've seen the 88 involved, the 21 involved, the 5. So a little bit of a changer, and it's crazy. We just mentioned it that a caution would really, really hurt right now, and there it is. So honestly, you're going to see a lot of this field trapped a lap down, and your big winner is going to be the 99 of John Kea. I mean, he's going to get his chance right here to take his pit stop. And
Unfortunately, it's one of the gambles you take running green flag pit stops. You never know when it's going to happen. You always happen. You always hope it happens, right when you're thinking about going to the pits and before you get there, and not when you come out of the pit lane. So it's always a risk versus reward scenario.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to take this opportunity to catch our breath because we've been going nonstop since the drop of the green flag. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back live. Bristol Motor Speedway. We are under our third caution of the night here on lap 70 of 125 lap race. And if you're just tuning in, welcome to what has been nothing short of action pack. These guys are banging into each other. And, a race that you would expect to see at Bristol. That's kind of what we're seeing. And it just happened that we just had green flag stops about, within 10 to 20 laps ago as we are back under green. And I'll tell you what, that field was not ready to go. We just had our green flag stops, and, this basically the whole field is trapped a lap down, at least right now. And John Kea out in front, didn't pit under green. Caution comes out. He's able to pit, and away we go. As we see,
we got one in the wall.
Yeah, the 21. The 21. We are definitely going to be under caution for that. We were able to catch the back end of that in our live shot. Let's go back and check this out. We see the 21 coming down into the corner. Just kind of spins around on his own, catches the apron, tries to save it, and just spins around and gives, a pretty good hit on that inside pit wall there. And the 21 is Carlos Ramos, and he's having a night to, I want to say, forget. Been all these guys have been getting beaten and slammed all over the place tonight. And it's just one of those things. Now this caution is going to help out the 46 of Andrew Hefner. He should receive the lucky dog. As you see, he will go around the pace car there. He will be back on the lead lap. But the only problem with that is he needs to start at the tail end of the longest line and work his way up through the field. But nonetheless, we now will have two cars on the lead lap here. So that'll give John Kea a little bit of competition, maybe. Hard to say. We're coming up on 75 laps into this thing. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome. You guys got a favorite driver out there? Throw it in the chat. If you're just here enjoying the show, throw in the chat. We're live here on Facebook and YouTube. Let's chat it up. Let's see, who do you got tonight? Who's your winner? Let's talk about it, because this is a race that you feel like a Bristol race should be more sloppy than it is. We're only under our fourth caution. And, to run 75 laps at Bristol and, to only be under your fourth caution really isn't too bad. I would put it at about the average mark. And, we're starting to wind this thing down. We're going to have about 50 laps to go, maybe a little less when these guys go green again. I think you're going to start seeing a little more aggression. And I think the guys that are, one or two laps down, there's not many of them, to be honest with you. Only two guys that aren't, either on the lead lap or four or more laps down. Those are the guys I think you're going to see just try to settle in and just try to stay out of trouble. Because, if you could keep the truck clean for the rest of the race, I think you're going to end up with a pretty decent finishing spot.
Now it's all about looking at where you're at and what you possibly stand to gain. Because points you're thinking points wise for the rest of the season. This race is going to be a race that you're going to want to regroup from, refocus yourself for the next week's race, and just try to put this as your worst finish of the season. If you can do that and go and move ahead and move forward, I think a lot of these guys will be in great shape.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta, second race of a 20 race season. You really have to put this one on the back burner. If it's not your race, it's not your race. There's not a whole lot you could really do about it. You kind of just gotta, take it with a grain of salt, go out, hang your head high, and look forward to the next one. As the iRacing.com pace car is off, we are back under green. Lap 78 of 125 here in the UNOH 200 from Bristol. You're watching the three-wide Racing eSports League live here on Evolution Racing Network. We are live every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern. Head on over to Evolution Racing Network on Facebook and YouTube. Give us a like, subscribe, smash the bell. You'll get notified every time these guys go live. And next week, I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about this coming up. What a schedule for these guys coming up, Michael. I don't know if you got a chance to look at this thing as we are under caution once again.
You noticed very quickly that the 88 was able to get his lap back really quick off the start. He was focused. He wanted that lap back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this schedule coming up is amazing.
And I'm curious as to where that caution came from.
This will be our fifth caution of the night.
Fifth caution of the night here on lap 81.
And, these tires, like we talked about earlier, a lot of these guys their tires are still coming up to temp. It looks like I've got it here. Trying to zoom in. Looks like the 19 was involved.
Okay, let's see if we can't get you guys a replay. Give us 1 minute. We'll pull this replay up for you, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back, and we've able to figure this replay thing out. 19 gets loose, clips the 5. The 5 collects what I believe was
Like the 98, I believe.
I believe you are correct. So that is why we are under caution here, and the fifth caution of the night.
Saw a little smoke coming out of the back of the 98 too, so that's not a good sign. That's going to be some engine damage there.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. It's really gonna really going to hinder his ability. I mean, he'll probably go out and try to run this thing the best he can. But unfortunately for him, I mean, it's probably all but over for him. As you see, the 46 is going to come up around here, and he benefits from these cautions. We mentioned earlier that he got the lucky dog, and then with another caution, it's able to move him up to the front of the field.
And I expect here to see, a lot of these lap trucks, if they've got the speed to work by the leader like Nick Radar did in the first set. I know that the 24 was trying to work his way by when the caution flag came out. Now's the time that they're going to try to get their laps back.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a perfect opportunity to do so. I mean it's kind of, and it could really help you both ways. I mean especially if you're like you said, the 24, the 10 and the 13, they're all kind of running up towards each other. If they could get a lap back and then get a quick caution, I mean you could get a 2-for-1 special out of this thing if you're the 13 and be back on the lead lap within just like a lap or two.
We're sitting with, 42, 43 to go right now. A lot can still happen. I mean, it's the 99 sitting in the greatest position right now, but 43 laps, a lot can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're back under green here on lap 86, and now we have a little bit of action up front here because now the 46 Andrew Hefner back on the lead lap, back up in the front. He could challenge that 99, try to push him and see what happens. I mean, I don't know if it's the part of the race yet where you're trying to be that aggressive to get the lead. But it's definitely something you're thinking about as these drivers, they're going to be taking laps off really quickly here.
Yeah, the laps are going to start ticking by really, really fast northwards of 100 laps. Just saw a little bit of 3-wide there.
Yeah, we sure did. I'll tell you what, that guy that sent it through the middle there, hats off to him. He did it without an incident. I mean, that's a heck of a move. You got to have steady hands to pull that off, especially here at Bristol where you could barely run 2 wide without banging into each other.
That was a move by William Roberts. That was one that has to be perfectly timed and executed to be able to squeeze through like that with no contact.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, if you are the guys on the outside of him, you kind of just, I mean, I hate to say, you just close your eyes and try to keep the wheel straight, and hopefully, nothing bad happens. And thankfully for them, it didn't.
Yeah, the 99 is he's just running his line right now. I don't see him working the top too much there, so he's in a comfortable spot right now. Oh, got another flag out.
Yes, we do, and I believe it is I believe it's the 21 of Carlos Ramos. Let's take a look. Yep, 21 just kind of slides up, makes contact, and almost saves it, and at the last minute it just kind of spins around on him. So we mentioned before 21 just having a rough night. I mean, and he's not the only one. This is just it's a tough track. It's a tough track to run in any car, and I mean even with 15 guys out on a track. I mean, imagine if you stacked 43 trucks out here. I mean, it'd really be a mess out there, as the 13 is going to get the lucky dog here. And we mentioned these cautions now. We're getting to the end part of the race, so you're driving different than you were on lap 5. We know this. We know how the brain works. So I don't want to say we're going to keep seeing a caution every 5 laps, but guys are going to start being a little more aggressive as we get closer to the end of this thing.
Yeah, you're going to start to see the aggression pick up a little bit, trying to get their position as much as they can out of their trucks. And this track is one that you put 2 or 3 trucks on here, it can be bad. The more you add, the more you amplify the possibilities. I mean, a lot of cars are hard to get around here by themselves without even anybody else on the track, especially after 45, 50 laps, or even on green tires. So
Right.
the more trucks you add, that multiplies the factor.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great point. I'm glad you bring that up because I mean that's it. I mean it's really that's the truth behind it is you know this is just how racing is, and I mean it's why we enjoy it. I don't think I'd want it any other way to be honest with you, but it's just one of those things. As we've got the 46 of Andrew Hefner on pit road,
Brought
and
some company with him.
I'll tell you what. We've got about 7 or 8 guys down on pit road, and I'll tell you what, Michael, I do not hate the call. Really, I actually like the call.
No, at this point in time, with as much heat, as many heat cycles have been on these tires, especially these guys that have been out for, 30, 40 laps. Right now, you've got 2 extra sets if you only pit in the pits once. You can't carry them home with you, so you might as well use them and try to get as much position as you can out of it. Maybe get a little damage fixed while you're in there. Anything that'll help your chances now at this point, it's worth it. You're under caution. You're not going to lose laps. Take advantage of the situation, and use it to your best ability.
Yeah, I mean you're 100% right. I mean with only 3 guys on the lead lap, I mean if the race ended in 10 laps, the worst you could be is third. So I love the call. I really do. As we're gonna restack them up here, pace car lights are off, so we're gonna go green next lap, and we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. This is a race, I think that what me and you at least expected, a lot of banging up, not many clean trucks left. And we'll see what happens as pace car is in, and a 99 of John Kay gets a great launch off the start, and let's go to work and let's see what we could get done.
Yeah, these guys in the back with the fresher tires, it's going to take a couple laps for these tires to come
And
in.
oh no,
Looks like
contact!
the 46.
Contact
Good
between the
contact.
88 and the 46, and there is our caution. Oh man, I'll tell you what, that is something you hate to see, especially because we know that the 46 of Andrew Hefner is on fresh tires, but I believe so was the 88. I think they just touched, and it's just an unfortunate thing to see. It really is.
Yeah, at this track, a little bit of contact with as much banking as you've got here, and let's turn that way.
So this is going to put us under our 7th caution tonight, and while we have the chance, well, I'll let you guys know that this race is being brought to you by DeMarzo Gears. Give them a call. You need a rear end for a race car. You need some gear work done. Give them a call, 661-212-3389. That's DeMarzo Gears. And I will tell you that this race it's been fun. It's been one of those trickier races to kind of call because there's just so much action all over the place. But it's been a fun race, as we're going to see the 99 of John Kaya kind of do the strategy the guys did last time. Come down pit road. You might as well. Right now there's only going to be 4 cars on the lead lap when this thing goes back to green. Get your tires. You're going to have the freshest tires out of everybody. You already know that. And go see if you can get a win. We're going to probably have about 23 laps to go when this thing resumes.
Yeah, we're going to be looking about maybe 22, 23 laps to go. And, it's going to be to see who can utilize those fresh tires the best, try to get a good run, try to maintain. A lot of guys are going to be trying to maintain their position, so I expect the intensity to probably kick up actually a notch here. And I think if they get some green flag, laps going here, you'll start to see it spread out a little bit, and you'll start to see guys make a little bit bolder moves. Maybe you might start seeing a slide job or two here. Got quite a few now coming down pit lane to take advantage of a couple repairs there and maybe a fresh set.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, this is, this, especially if you're the guys that are 4, 5, 7, 8 laps down. You might as well. I mean, you're probably going to be, safe with a top 10, maybe slip outside of 11th. And like we said, early early race. This where we're still young in this season, second race in. So, but our next couple of races, and I'll tell you what, it gets. You think this race is exciting with all the action? Next week we head to Canadian Tire Road Course. So we're going to see these guys in action on a road course for the first time. Then they come out of that and they tackled North Wilkesboro, Martinsville, and then back to the Charlotte Roval, another road course. So I'll tell you what, if you like road course and short track racing, the next 5 weeks of your life are going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, and road courses are going to be brings a whole nother realm, especially with these trucks. It's a complete different feel. It looks like we're going to go back green right now.
Yes, we are. The 28 of Jorge Rincon is going to stack them up a little bit, wait for the green to fly, and he'll get going. And the 99 of John Kaya, freshest tires, outside lane. He's going to have the power move as they come out of turn 2. And these guys are going to be side by side, 22 laps to go